Good morning, beloveds. He's probably just below the camera line, so you can't see him, but Chico is in here. If you can see that glare right there, that's a window. And it faces east-ish. So there's a little bit of sun coming in, and so the cat was curled up in the sun. And I came in and sat down and started petting him, and he's like, "Oh, love, love, come here, come here. You gonna look at the camera? No. No. Okay. See, look. Yeah. So that's Chico. I have two orange tabby girls who have no white on them at all. And then Chico has the toe socks and the white belly and the white chest, and he has white stripes that come down his cheeks. You kind of probably got to see it there. And his name actually evolved, because he's a rescue. His name evolved from White Cheeks, because he has those white stripes down his cheeks. And it was White Cheeks, and then it evolved to Cheeks, to Cheeky, to Chico. So his official name, according to the vet, is Chico. And he's funny because he's not really a people cat. He loves to sit in the windows and talk about the birds. He's not real, affectionate until he is. And then he's like super in your face. It's like, "Oh my God, love me, love me, love me." And then he's done. Although he does adore both of his sisters. Both of his sisters, if you've seen these. Rita, the great big orange tabby, and the tiny little Sugar. The one that's the tan and white. They're his siblings. So, all right. You're a good boy. Okay. So, for a treat, you get to see Chico. Oh, no, I gotta turn the page. Hey, baby. You back? Okay. It is February 23rd. It is Tuesday. And the irony of Texas weather is today, when I got up, the weather app said it was 40 degrees. It's going to be 78 today. Please don't knock the phone over. Okay. He's sitting nicely beside the phone, so we'll... And literally a week ago, it was in the teens. And the feels likes were like -2. And that doesn't happen here. It's been a number of years since that has happened. So, all right. February 23rd. Our title is "A Certain Future Awaits Me." Our Bible quote is, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised." Hebrews 10:23. That would be a good one to go read for context. We are not enough at home in the universe. We are afraid of it, afraid to live. If the time ever comes to you and to me when we see God in everything and in everybody, we will never be alone or lonely. Every experience will but more vividly reveal the warmth and color and beauty and responsiveness of the universe in which we live. Its entire nature is given to us. We are on the verge of a vast possibility. The individual or nation without a vision must perish until the vision is reborn. What is our vision going to be in the midst of confusion, doubt, and uncertainty? it is either going to fall before the confusion and be destroyed, or something transcendent within us is going to rise and look to a certain future, to the eternal reality, to a God principle, to an infinite presence responding to us according to our acceptance. There is no individual good. Good belongs to everyone. Good fulfills itself only as it multiplies itself. Therefore, there is no good that belongs to you and to me alone, no final peace to us only as individuals. The watchword is not exclusion, but inclusion. And the more good we release, the more good we experience. I am part of one tremendous whole whose nature is of God. It is in this divine nature, this inevitable union, that I consciously walk and talk with the infinite until it becomes dynamic and real to me. I am thankful for every opportunity to let God's life be expressed through me. Okay. I honestly have no idea what I just read. Okay. All right. Let's see. The title is A Certain Future Awaits Me. Which can... I think that's one of those... if you're familiar with it, it's kind of like a karma test where you say, I hope you get what you deserve. And then the question becomes, is that a terrifying a terrifying prospect, or an amazing prospect? I hope you get what you deserve. And so that's exactly how I feel about A Certain Future Awaits Me. Is that a terrifying prospect, or have you done your work and is it an amazing prospect? And then the Bible quote's one of those that makes me feel like context. I would like to see what it is in context. Let us hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. Hebrews 10:23. I mean, I get it. Let's hold fast with the profession of our faith. And they're not talking about it. When let us hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering isn't about talking about your faith. It's about living your faith. It's about doing your faith. It's so so I'd like to see that in context, to see what exactly they were talking about. Because for he is faithful that promised. Are we talking, who is the he in that sentence? I'm curious. Okay. So Ernest starts off by saying, we are not enough at home in the universe. We are afraid of it, afraid to live. And he has said that before. It's like, if we look around and everything we see is God stuff, and everyone we meet is a child of God, then we're going to feel a whole lot safer and more amazed and in awe. But if we don't feel that way, then we're afraid to live and not at home in the universe. If the time ever comes to you and to me when we see God in everything and everybody, we will never be alone or lonely. So yeah, that's what we're working on. That's what we're working on. Every experience will be but more vividly... Every experience will but more vividly reveal the warmth and color and beauty and responsiveness of the universe in which we live. Its entire nature is given to us. When we are more willing to see God everywhere we look, then we will start to see with our spiritual eyes, with our spiritual heart. When we start to see with our heart, Centers for Spiritual Living is doing a challenge through the Facebook page, Centers for Spiritual Living Spiritual Leader. And that's Reverend Dr. Edward Viljoen, who is the current spiritual leader of, and it's an elected position. And I don't know how long you're elected for. And so he's posting a Lenten challenge, and today was about beauty, and he says to see with your spiritual eyes. And so that's kind of what this reminds me of. I'm posting it to this Facebook page as well as the Running Rev Facebook page, so you can the Running Rev Ryan Facebook page. So please check it out. They're interesting. So every experience will but more vividly reveal the warmth and color and beauty and responsiveness of the universe in which we live if we are willing to see God everywhere we look. And that takes practice. That takes practice. We are on the verge of a vast possibility. The individual or nation without a vision must perish until the vision is reborn. And that's just, I don't know. I'm not used to Ernest speaking quite that, I'm going to say harshly. The individual or nation without a vision must perish until the vision is reborn. What is our vision going to be in the midst of confusion, doubt, and uncertainty? What is our vision going to be? It is either going to fall before the confusion and be destroyed, or something transcendent within us is going to rise and look to a certain future, to an eternal reality, to a God principle, to an infinite presence responding to us according to our acceptance. So again, I'm back to that karma thing. Have we done our work? Have I done my work? If I am looking towards the future with hope, I've done my work. If I am not looking towards the future with hope, then I either haven't done my work or I haven't done enough of my work. Which is why we do the work every day. What is the work? The work is to go within, to find that, what did he call it? Something transcendent within us. The eternal reality, the God principle. Something transcendent without it. So we go into that place that Reverend Jesse talks about where nothing has ever been wrong. That's where we go. And we get that vision. And it's going to respond to us according to our acceptance. So if today the idea of a certain future awaits me is terrifying, then I get to work on that. I get to look around and make the effort to see God everywhere, to see spirit everywhere, to when I look into other beings' eyes. Notice I said beings, so I am including every living being in that, not just humans, but especially humans, and especially if I look in the mirror into my own eyes to see God looking back at me, to see the observer looking back at me, because I'm part of a greater whole, or as I like to say, a divine splinter. So I get to practice that every day. I get to practice my acceptance every day until the idea of a certain future does not terrify me. There is no individual good. We are communal creatures. We are built to flourish in community. When we try and go at it alone is when we don't do as well as when we do it as a community. Do not get me wrong. There are definitely things that are definitely meant to be solo. But as a whole, most of the things we do, we flourish when we do them in community. So there is no individual good. Good belongs to everyone. Good fulfills itself only as it multiplies itself. Therefore, there is no good that belongs to you and to me alone. No final peace to us only as individuals. Now notice he said no final peace. It does not mean that you cannot have peace on your own. But it means that the final piece, that's a community. No, final piece to us only as individuals. So it means that we as individuals can have and should have peace. But the way to get the lasting peace is in community. The watchword is not exclusion, but inclusion. And the more good we release, the more good we experience. And that's true. When I don't feel connected and I'm kind of crabby and angry and all that, if I go out and do something, i.e. a random act of kindness, or I go and serve. We have a food bank event with the Montgomery Food Bank this Saturday, and they're hard because we know that we are serving people in need, but you also walk away from it feeling pretty amazing. Would that we didn't have to do this. Would that there were no people that needed this kind of service. That's the world we're working towards. But right now there are. And so we have the opportunity to serve. And we walk away from it feeling pretty amazing. So that is the multiplying of good by serving within the community. I am part of one tremendous whole whose nature is of God. Say that to yourself every morning when you get up. It is in this divine nature, this inevitable union, that I consciously walk and talk with the infinite. Consciously. Meaning that I understand that every conversation that I am having, whether I'm having it with myself or if I'm having it with another, that I'm having that conversation with God. I'm having that conversation with Spirit. So that I consciously walk and talk with the infinite until it becomes dynamic and real to me. And that's practice. That is spiritual practice. That is treatment. That is meditation. That is sacred readings. Pulling up your favorite spiritual teacher and listening to them on YouTube or podcasts or whatever it is. Until it becomes dynamic and real for you. I am thankful for every opportunity to let God's life be expressed through me. So our mission, should we choose to accept it? Wow. There's so much in here. And I'm just like, what mission? Because our mission in the long run is to let God's life be expressed through us. And how do we do that? How do we do that? By doing our work, by doing our spiritual practices, by doing good, and by recognizing that we are part of a community, and by serving our community. And by serving our community by being authentically ourselves and recognizing the God principles within us, the principles of peace and harmony and unity and creativity and joy and love, and letting those flow. So our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to consciously walk and talk with the infinite. To recognize that every interaction that we have is a conversation with Spirit. It's an interaction with Spirit. And that is pretty overwhelming. It is pretty overwhelming. But if you think about that, it may change the way you interact, because you may take a pause and think, do I really want to say that to God? All right, beloveds. As always, I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, and do something compassionate for yourself. Because that is one thing that you can do in service of that certain future. The more loving and kind and compassionate you are to yourself, the more you will have for everyone else. And the more you have for everyone else, the good is not for us alone. It is for us to share and multiply. And that is one way to do it. And that is an excellent way to practice it. And this was the first time I went for a run in over a week because I wasn't going to run in the snow. I'm not prepared for that. So please I do encourage you, do something to engage your mind and your body today. And because it could be 78 here, today would be a good day to maybe open those windows and get some fresh air in. Get some fresh perspective. And always open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven now. Everything around you, everyone around you is made of God's stuff. They are all the children of God. Be they walk on 2 legs or 4, or swim. They are all the children of God. All of them, including you. All right, beloveds. I'm going to move into the process of my day and do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day. All right. Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. right here on Facebook Live with the daily guides. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. And drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, stay warm. All right, beloveds.